Hey, everybody, and welcome to the Seal Podcast, episode number Blink 192
Shut up.
for 15th of September 2023. I'm your host, Fraser, joined on my left by Dave.
Hello.
And on my right by Neil.
Hello. I'm blinking.
Hello.
10
As an
episodes too late,
explanation,
apparently.
Yeah, we thought, Neil thought it was Blink 192. It's actually Blink 182.
I didn't think that. It was you that saw that.
Oh, yeah, okay. Welcome back to the show. Did we have three of us last week? I can't remember. I'm losing track now. Did we have a guest last week?
You don't know what the fuck's going on, apparently.
I don't even know my own
You know even
name.
lesser than I do.
Leicester.
Leicester, they were winning the last I knew.
Leicester, I never even met her. Welcome back to the show. I'm not even too sure what we've got in planned for today.
For the show.
Have we got any football
we talk
stuff?
about no, there's no really. There's football. Football doesn't start till tomorrow.
Okay.
We could talk about Harry Maguire adding a ruthless finishing touch to his appalling defensive performances and scoring an own goal for England, if you like.
Okay, well, I don't know
and
what
his
I'm doing.
mum defending him.
Yeah, I heard that.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Like Mr. Rubiales, his mum defending. Is his mum going on hunger
so
strike
mums
for 3
are
days?
the new thing, aren't they?
Yeah, I guess.
The mums are out in force. It's not like mums, is it?
So what else? Anything else football related?
My big fucking gamble on the transfers has gone a bit shit, to be honest.
Has it? Did you play what? Was it this week? You played your wild card?
I was hoping there was going to be some double gains in the same game week, but unless they
you
came
were
overnight,
talking about that.
then that's not going to happen.
Oh,
it's not looking good, unless a huge amount of people transfer in Son overnight. And
I tell you what, I had my whole team just about my whole team rearranged. And then just before I played the wild card and committed to it, I just went, you know what? I'm going to do it. And all these guys are going to perform. Like they're not, I haven't got Muppets in my side. Like it's just, they
same here.
All those people who've had 2 good weeks, not all of them. I mean, obviously there are players who are going to continue to perform, but it happens every year, right? A couple of players have 2 good weeks. Panic sets in. I got to have those players, and then they settle down and don't have decent games again. But then I've talked about it, and it'll be completely wrong, and it'll all happen. And I should have changed and put Son in. I was going to ditch Salah and put Son in.
See, I'm fucking all about Salah. I want Salah in my team. He's my Harry Kane from last year.
Oh, okay.
You remember I was talking like Harry Kane was just like chipping away all season long.
I remember,
like
and you saying that.
Salah.
You saying that stuck in my brain, and I was like, you know what? Just keep him there. I was awfully impressed with Tottenham though, and Son and what's his face.
They were playing. Who were they playing? Burnley, who were the most naive, even more naive than Luton, potentially. Yeah, so I don't think we'll play like that against a good team. We won't be fucking like defending the halfway line like Burnley were, and basically giving Heung-min Son the entire half of their play to fucking do what he wants.
Well, that extreme top of his game, fast, guy who can play striker.
One who can like totally take the piss out of people. Of in their own league, if they give him their own half, let alone the people who've just come up from the previous league.
Yeah. So, we'll see. Back at it. No games tonight. It's tomorrow, right?
Tomorrow, 11 a.m. deadline. So, I need to get up early tomorrow and make sure I've got the price changes, or stay up all night and wait till the price changes happen at about 2:30.
I can't even remember. I did make a change. What was it? I kept Salah. Oh, I ditched somebody in my midfield.
Do you have João Pedro? Oh, no.
No, I brought in Rodrigo.
Who? What, from Man City?
Rodrigo. Yeah.
Oh, that's a gamble.
Well, I like a gamble.
That's a gamble. Who did you get rid of? Salah?
No, I kept Salah. I can't remember who I got rid of. Anyway.
Well, there's too many midfielders. I'd love to have the flexibility to go, fuck it, I don't want any strikers. I'll just have 8 midfielders, actually.
Right.
Really?
And they can all play.
Oh.
I'll just go with 1 in goal. Like, what's that? 2 in defence and 8 midfield. Thanks.
I have brought in my second choice keeper. Even though my Arsenal keeper hasn't delivered, I brought in my second keeper.
Who's that?
Okay. Leno for a full.
Yeah. See, I've brought in Leno as a sub this week on my wild card. I've got rid of whoever it was. I can't even remember. It was so long ago that I got rid of. I brought in Leno as my keeper change and I don't know if anyone's aware. Matt Turner, Forest keeper, his wife had a baby in the early hours of this morning, apparently. So he's been otherwise engaged for the last 24 hours.
He'll be out there.
Might be a bit sleepy this weekend, so it could be a weekend to get Hennessy. So,
yeah, maybe. I mean, he could be buzzing though,
yeah,
right?
I'm sure he will be buzzing, but I'm not sure he might be awake. Is the main thing. So
we'll see. Okay, well let's move on then to some listener stuff. I have something here from Master Blackthorn. He says I haven't read any of these yet, by the way. Surprise, surprise.
Oh,
he says no question.
Mm-hmm.
I put that caveat in just before because he's got a few paragraphs here. No question, but I will say I've managed to put over 40 hours into Starfield, and I haven't even done anything really meaningful quest-wise. Just traveling about being a space dick. Stealing, looting, surveying planets, killing innocent stuff. It's great. Bethesda are back to form. I didn't really doubt Starfield before release, but Fallout 76 was sort of a disaster, and Fallout 4 was 8 years ago. Oh, and Fallout 4 was 8 years ago. Not that it was a disaster. Barely encountered any bad bugs, just the normal amount like in a normal video game. It's like Bethesda have grown up and put on their big boy pants. Been enjoying the crap out of it, and it's all I want to play at the moment. Tatty bye for now, and have a good show, chaps.
I'm sure we'll talk about that in the what we've been playing section. But yeah,
we'll put a pin in that if you don't mind, Master Blackthorn.
Okay, yup.
And we'll come back to it. Mint Safe says, just tried Saints Row 2022 version, and the tutorial has put me off the game already. Have you ever played a game that you instantly didn't like and thought, fuck this game, I'm done? Cheers.
It's like you get a t-shirt with that on.
That from the Veteran Gamers.
Well, I don't know. Maybe we should do our own.
Have you ever played a game that you instantly didn't like and thought, fuck this game, I'm done? Many games, yes.
It's Hunt Showdown, probably the first time you played it, actually.
Valorant.
Yeah.
Not Hunt, I don't think. I didn't put down Hunt and come back to
it.
You
definitely refunded it the first time.
Oh, did I?
Yeah.
I bought it twice and refunded it.
Yeah. So you're on the third time you bought it.
I'm on the third time, yeah.
And now you don't play it. You're just giving up refunding it.
And now I'm like, oh, is anybody playing Hunt? And then like there's 3 people playing Hunt. Oh, well. I won't play
If there's 3 people, you get another person in. You can go double duo.
Yeah, I know.
Double duos, eh? Ooh.
No, I do need to pick it up.
Valorant, I didn't like Valorant. Well, not that I didn't like it. I just didn't.
Every game I've ever recommended that then goes on to play for fucking 700 or 800 hours.
Yes. Dave? Oh, you said Hunt, right? You refunded Hunt a couple of times.
Yeah, I've refunded, yeah.
There's no shortage of games, right?
The thing is that the games that you pick up and don't like or don't care and put down again, you forget about it. Well, I forget about it instantly. So yeah, just don't know. Like there's so many games that I've bounced off that it's difficult to talk about because I literally don't care about.
Yeah.
It's difficult to remember the ones that I definitely thought of one. I did think about this for a minute or two before because I looked at this earlier. I was like, there must be one. As soon as I read the question, I was like, I know there's at least a few that I've done this with, but I couldn't think of any. But I remember the Ride 4 motorbike game. Within about 5 minutes of playing that game, I was like, fuck this. I can't fucking do this at all. It's too hard. And I was like, nah, I just uninstalled it straight away. But if I buy a game, I definitely give it more of a it a good few hours before I'm like, nah, I'm not playing this. But if it's a Game Pass game, I can play it for like about 30 seconds and go, fuck this. Fuck
so flippant about them, right?
Yeah.
It's free stuff. There's a few out there.
There's definitely quite a lot of Game Pass games that I've played for 30 seconds or a minute and gone, this could be all right, but I'm not really in the mood for it right now. like Signalis is one for sure that I think I should go back to. But it's pretty retro looking visually, but it's supposed to be very good if you get into it. I'm like, I just couldn't get into it when I played it.
I remember doing the Pile of Shame was very interesting because I did this Pile of Shame challenge back. It's got to be over 10 years ago
Is
now,
it
maybe.
really
But
that long?
I think so.
Fuck
Could
off.
Because I think I was on. That was the Overseas Connection. I haven't been on that for a long time. And I mean, the fascinating thing about the Pile of Shame challenge, which was, for anybody who doesn't know, we had I think it was 12 months was set. And did you guys do it and take part in it?
I definitely started it, and then after a while I was like, fuck this, I'm not doing it.
I was sort of extra committed because I was on the podcast, but I actually really, really enjoyed it. And I think the hardcore people were like, don't buy any, you're not allowed to buy any new games for the, I think it started, Midlife Gamer started it, I think, around those guys maybe. Yeah. And it was, you can't buy any games for the year, and you can only play games you already own. So we did something similar, if not the exact, sort of the same. And it would just amaze me how many games that
Is that when you played Fallout 4?
It may have been, I can't remember. I've got the list somewhere. But it was just amazing how many games I went back to and ended up loving them. And it was like, I can't believe I nearly didn't get to play this. Like, this was just a brilliant game. Why did I dismiss it? So I guess that is the question, is why do you dismiss games so easily, right? You know, sort of what you're saying, I think, Neil, like that Sea of Stars. I started playing that the other day. And I was like, I think this is really good. And I've heard a couple of good things too.
Ooh,
I played it for 5 minutes, 10 minutes.
Wait till later.
Oh, is that on the lists?
It is on the list.
So, okay. So, you know, but if I don't go back to it, that's a crime, right? So.
Is it? You didn't pay for it?
Yeah, because I think, well, no, but I think because
You wasted bandwidth on it.
Yeah, whatever. So we'll see. Anyway, I'd be interested to hear about that. But yeah, I don't trust myself, I think, is what the bottom line. I'm not always in control of the way you feel about something in one day can completely change the other day, right? Depending on the mood, depending on the game. I don't know. Thank you, Mint Safe Lord, who is watching in Twitch, I think. Hello, Lord, how are you? He says, so firstly, sorry about last week's quiz, in brackets, Beijing straight. It was my stupid phone. No quiz tonight, but a question. Would you rather cure cancer or solve the climate crisis?
What a fucking question.
Climate crisis doesn't exist, mate. And cancer is a choice. Didn't you know that?
Oh, my God.
Fucking hell.
Have you not, right? Right. So this actually...
Okay, can I tell you where I've been this evening?
Okay.
I've been down the club. No, I'm telling you now. I'm telling you now. Before you say it, before you do. No, I've not been doing that. I've not been solving the climate crisis, but I have been talking to one of my friends who has a brain tumour.
Right.
An incurable brain tumour. So
I know.
I am massively torn over this question.
Oh, right. Yeah, okay. Right. Well, first of all, that cancer as a choice thing is related to actually something I'm going to talk about in a bit. It is not my quote, by the way. It's a horrendous quote from somebody else.
Yeah. I think it's two. It's like from a... Well, again, from me, it's a same as Neil. There's a very selfish, but you could understand why somebody would choose the choice of eradicating cancer. But then there's solving the
impending apocalypse. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, it's a good question.
You could kill two birds with one stone, and you solve the climate crisis by just eradicating the human race.
Wow.
Right? And then
embrace cancer, is that what you're saying?
I'm not saying embrace it, but
yeah.
I guess I would go climate crisis.
I feel like that's the bigger issue here, is the climate crisis. Potentially. There's more potential to kill multiple billions of humans in a relatively short period of time. Whereas cancer is a relatively small problem versus that, I guess, which is also a huge fucking deal.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's a toughie.
So yeah, So,
thank you for emotionally taxing us at the start of our show.
I feel like this is for another podcast with more intelligent people.
I can't sit and think about that one for too long.
But yeah,
I'll go climate.
it has to be.
If you need an answer, climate.
Climate is it's huge. As far as I'm concerned, the science, if you choose to believe the science, which is apparently there's not a thing apparently for some people.
Science, fooey.
They keep changing their minds. That's the problem with the scientists, isn't it? They keep changing their minds. One day there's a climate crisis, the next day there's an even bigger fucking climate crisis. So yeah, I'd like to solve them both. There we go.
There you go.
There's room for both.
Terrible answer. Yeah.
That's not terrible. That's the right answer.
Okay, thank you very much, Lord. Sorry, Dave. Did you said climate as well, didn't you?
Yeah.
Did you? Yeah.
I did. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Lord. Thanks for the input, everyone. We'll move on to what we've been doing. I can start here and just say the reason I mentioned that when I said that cancer is a choice is I've been following with fascination this princess in Norway. And I say following, I mean, I read it basically the other day, but I was
not literally following because you're probably on the end of a fucking restraining order.
Do you know this story?
No.
Oh, you haven't heard about this?
Enlighten us.
So this is the Princess of Norway. She is getting married to this guy. And I'm just going to put this out here.
Is he like a normal guy? Oh, I have heard this. Is he like
He's
a normal
not
chap?
normal, I don't think. First of all, I'm just going to address the elephant in the room. First of all, he's a black guy, right? Okay.
What's wrong with that?
There's nothing wrong with it, okay? Neil, putting words in my mouth. But the reason I raise that is
you're saying that you can't have a Norwegian black guy? Is that what you're saying?
You absolutely know. Well, I don't think he's Norwegian. I think he's American anyway, or something. Enough. I'd have to check that. I mention it because he's going into a royal family. Now, you can live in Barbie land as much as you like, but in the real world, right? I don't think. Well, isn't that all? Somebody the other day was calling Barbie woke bullshit. I don't know. Is that
Barbie
true?
is definitely a woke bullshit movie, apparently, according to certain people.
Anyway, a black gentleman marrying into the Norwegian. I mean, this is the.
We've had this thing here.
I know, and it's not as though it didn't cause any controversy over there, right?
Or they moved to another fucking country,
right?
So controversial,
so first of all,
apparently.
anyway, but on top of that is apparently he's like he identifies as a shaman, right?
Oh, I did see something about this.
Right, right, and he's been hawking medallions that cure COVID, and he says cancer is a choice. These are the headlines.
Right, he's a fucking lunatic. Is that what you're saying?
Hey, but I took a step back and it's like, this is the princess of the Norwegian royal family marrying this guy, right?
Marrying a nut job.
And I'm just fascinated by it. Like, there's a number of angles you can come out here. Like, is she batshit insane?
Probably.
Right?
She's royal family, so probably.
I agree. Totally agree. Not going to argue with that point. But there was another point to me was just like, I wonder whether she was just trying to get back at her dad or something like that. So first of all, she starts dating this guy, and then it turns out he's a shaman. Now, this guy obviously, unless he is a shaman, right, and is correct on all this stuff that he says.
I was literally trying to. In my head right now I'm trying to imagine shaman lyrics like Mr. C is. I'm trying to vibe with Mr. C, and it's not happening. Can't remember.
No. Well, this guy does that. He vibes with Mr. C every night, right?
Well,
I think he said it. I think
and
there's
Mr. E and
yeah, Ebenezer Good was fucking right up with the shaman guy.
Yeah. I think they were saying as well that he's been come back from the dead or something like that. Anyway, whatever.
He looks alright, to be fair, this guy.
I'm just fascinated. Like, what's happened? Like, is she batshit insane, or is this like she wanted to upset the family and it's all gone a little bit too far, right? And she's like, "Oh shit," or does she just?
She looked really happy in the picture I saw. He didn't look too impressed, to be fair. I saw him looking at her, and she looked a lot happier than he did when I saw the one picture that I saw.
Dude, because all he's thinking, mate, that guy has won the fucking lottery.
Why doesn't he look happier than she does?
He has got because he's a con man. He knows how to fool people. He doesn't have to look happy.
Is this the guy that sends the emails? That's what I want to know.
He is going to rob that place dry. You know it. I believe she's been
Is this how they got
suspended.
together? She replied to that fucking dodgy email that you get.
She did. She replied to one of the dodgy emails. Anyway, I think I set a reminder in my calendar for a year just to look in on it and see if I can find
Which
out
one of
what's
them's
going
dead?
on.
Is that what you're gonna?
Well, I don't know. There's got to be something going on there. It's got to be hilarious to watch. I just find it astounding.
God. I did. It was on the BBC website that the Norwegian woman marries the shaman. I was like, I just looked at the headline and I went, saw the picture. I went, scroll past.
Yeah, bonkers. At the weekend, I did go to a car show for you petrol heads. Took my son and a couple of his friends. We saw some very nice Ferraris and.
Why did you post all the rubbish pictures in of rubbish cars?
What did I post? I posted a Porsche.
You posted a fucking police car.
The Batmobile.
No, you posted a police car. No, all right. Yeah, that's not a proper car, though, is it? A Corvette. It's not a proper car.
Yeah, that's a bit of a.
It's a bit of an American car.
I tell you what, those Corvette sort of their game right out. Corvette has good cars now.
Do they go around corners now?
Yes, they do.
Okay.
Yeah, they are fucking amazing cars now. So yeah, I got to give Corvette their dues.
Have you driven one?
No, I don't.
Ever?
I don't think so. No. No. See tons of them around though here. Yeah, we saw some Ferraris going around the track, some Fords, Mustangs, GTs.
Well, that was a couple of nice GTs you posted, actually, to be fair. That was a nice GT.
Yeah, there's some beautiful cars.
Pretty nice. But in the background, I could see some Ferraris. I was like, why are we not getting pictures of the Ferraris? You posted pictures of GTs.
Well,
It's Ford versus Ferrari, mate. Come on.
My son watched Ford versus
balance.
Ferrari just coincidentally before we went to it. And then when we got to the event, they did a Ford versus Ferrari run on the track, which was pretty cool.
And who won?
I don't think they really. I think it was just a show.
Actually tried.
Right? It wasn't. There was no
They
racing.
both finished at the same time.
There was a LaFerrari there, which I think is supposed to be.
That's pretty fancy.
That's the new one, right?
Well, it's relatively new. It's probably about 6 years old by now. But yeah,
I don't know.
It's pretty fancy.
I heard them talking about it. I don't know if I saw it or not. I don't really know what it.
Did you seen there? They do the Ferrari FX or F star K, and there's a reason like there's 2 stars in there.
No.
Yeah.
I don't know it. I'm so not so out of touch with what cars have been released.
That's a pretty nutty car. Goes quite quick.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
Fuck.
But we got there early, and the first thing we did was Kia were doing some test drive of their electric vehicles.
We've gone from Ferraris to Kia.
Well, we went in the Kia, and then all they were doing was taking people in the car and then flooring it and letting them out like 100 yards down the whatever. So they were showing
sort of Kia?
Were they stopping it?
A Sportage?
Or just throwing them?
No, it was I don't know. It's an EV. Anyway, apparently it's doing 0 to 60.
Okay, the EV6 is it?
3.5 seconds, 0 to 60.
Yeah, that's pretty rapid.
Nice and fast. Yeah,
the EVs are extremely rapid if they
the
decide
to
make them so.
And that was pretty cool. And then at the end of the day, we queued. It was a long queue. It probably took us over an hour or so to wait for this. But we went in these off-road like 4x4s. They're not like ATVs, way bigger, much bigger suspension.
Like a Bigfoot?
No, it's sort of
a Bigfoot with normal sized tires.
I'll drop you a picture, but it's sort of like an ATV, but with way bigger suspension, larger cabin, and all this sort of stuff. And this guy, to get us through the queue quicker, we split into the boys went into a 3 and I went into a 1, and I was just me and this other guy. And somebody went, if you get to go, make sure you go in the 1 because the guy in the front's going to floor it. And I went in there and chatted, and he goes, how do you want me to go? And I was just floor it. Just go as fast as you possibly can. I don't care, right? Just do whatever you're going to do. Fucking amazing. It was really good. Really good. This thing just ate trails. I have never been in anything like that before. Like I've been in ATVs where you just sort of, you can get over stuff and go across, but you take your time and you do this and do this thing. He just didn't give a shit. He was just going for it. So that was probably the best thing of the day for sure. That was really cool.
Nice.
Yeah. So that was nice to go to. I was walking my
dog. I've been spending
a
lot of time looking at cars this week.
Oh, have you?
Yeah. I'm fairly close to pulling the trigger, yeah.
Oh, yes! What's the
There's
closest thing?
Lots of things. Like, I was trying to convince my wife is the thing. She's most keen, and that's keen is a bit of a stretch when I say keen. She's least against a BMW 1 Series at the moment, and I'm a bit like, that's probably my least favoured option. BMW 1 Series.
That's a starter BMW, isn't it?
Yeah,
that's for
but they're pretty
BMWs
nice.
for people.
They are pretty nice.
Yeah, but you should really get a 3 Series and up.
Yeah, I'm like, I keep showing her. I was like, "Don't you like this, the 3 Series?" And she's like,
You
no,
can't
I don't like
put
it.
yourself in, mate. If you're gonna go the extra mile to get a nice car, don't get a 1
That
Series.
looks like a midlife crisis car. I was like, no, that does not look like a midlife. That's like a normal fucking nice car. A BMW 3 Series. If it's a midlife crisis, it would be a fucking Audi TT with only 2 seats or something. That would be a midlife crisis car.
A Mustang.
Yeah, yeah, exactly, a Mustang. Like
or a Corvette.
That's definitely a fucking midlife crisis.
There's loads of those midlife crisis.
I went to the local car garage where we bought our Qashqai, which is definitely not a midlife crisis car.
Well,
it's like a midlife essential car.
It is. Your midlife is in crisis.
Yeah. It's like, this is all I can fucking get. Is it? Great car. And they had, it's a Sunbeam. I don't know what the actual brand is. It's like a fucking, it has a back seat allegedly, but it doesn't look like a back seat. It's a 60 odd years old, this car. It's like just no roof. Looks a bit, he said, what's his name? Carroll Shelby was involved in the design of this car.
Right.
I was like, I saw that and I was like, that's a nice little thing there. And I looked at it and I went, it's pretty fucking filthy though inside. It's like, he goes, yeah, when we sorted that out, that's going to be like £100,000 car. I was like, yeah, it looks nice. It looks like it will be nice. And it was weird because it's like this old 60s car, big fucking stick shift in the middle of it and everything. And it's got a Sony fucking CD player in it. I was like, that's definitely not original equipment in there. But yeah, the rest of it, I was like, oh, that looks quite nice. But
yeah, the Sunbeam Alpine, right?
Yeah, maybe.
Is that what it was?
I can't see what you're showing, like what picture it is. But yeah, it's like it's like it's small. It's like basically a 2-seater, but it's got this back seat, inverted commas, with like these strapped seat belts on. I was like, it literally looks like an armchair or something like that. It's fucking pathetic. Like, you've got the 0 leg room. It's like you need to have the tiniest legs possible to sit in the back of this thing.
Well, you're not pulling the trigger on that.
Yeah, you would. No. They ain't selling that thing. That wasn't for sale. It was just in the showroom. I was like, oh, that's fancy. It's like, you don't see many of them about then. Like, yeah. But there's a place in town called talkpoint.co.uk. Right, they've got a fucking Ferrari 360 for sale and a Porsche 911 Carrera from 1990 odd. I didn't even bother looking at the total price. The monthly price for the fucking Ferrari was £1,500 a month, and I was like, that's a bit much. And the Porsche was even more. It was fucking insane. I was like,
how many months?
I don't know. I didn't even look. Probably a lot. Probably a lot.
So back to reality.
Yeah, I want a 3 Series BM. Is what I really
do, don't you?
Yeah, I really love the look of the Mercedes CLA, particularly. It's a really lovely looking car. But everything I read is like the BMW 3 Series is a much better car to drive. The Mercedes look nice, but the 3 Series drives really good. I'm like, yeah, that's really fucking swayed me. I'm like, it's quite a lot of money. Not stupid, silly money, but there's things I want.
You only live once, mate. You only live once.
This is true. And like I said, I was talking to a chap. You don't know how long he's got, really. Just flying along, he had a fucking Audi R8 and he loved his cars and everything, and now he can't drive anymore.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, mate, and I think about it because of my car as well. Like, my car this week, I go up to the highway, and I'm already feeling a little bit like I want to let her go. You know, I'll be stuck in traffic, and then I pull up to the lights, and I'm the first in the lights, and then there's a sweeping right down onto the highway, and I'm like, fucking yes, let's go. The lights go. I floored it. And I think it possibly could be the fastest I've ever taken a corner in a car. Like I was starting to shit my pants a little bit. And then as soon as I got to the bottom of the ramp, it threw a fault code on my coolant.
No.
And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? And you know, first thing you do is stop the car, right? There's no ifs or buts.
Everyone else is just like, who's been pootling along behind you goes, look at
well,
this
luckily
guy.
no one followed me down, so I knew I wasn't going to look like a prick to the people I just blown off the lights. They all went the other way. But I wasn't leaking coolant. There's just a problem with my coolant tank. It's like the float's gone. It's a common problem.
Like, you're going too fast.
It happens every so often, and it's intermittent. So I've been I got in it this morning. The fault was gone. I drove around, went swimming, came back. The fault was back again. It's just I got to change the tank. It cost me $100, and I can
need
do it
to change
myself.
your car.
I don't need to change my car. But the point is, like, this shit just happens, right? And you just have to buying a car like this, unless you've got the money to never deal with the problems. Like, you have to account for the fact that when you have problems, and you will have problems on a secondhand nice car, like you either have to pay someone to sort all this out, or get handy. It is a very good motivator to suddenly become a bit handier on vehicles.
Thing is, now you can't be handy with cars.
You can. You still can.
You need a fucking Bluetooth this and a fucking electronic doodad that fucking connects to your fucking computer to tell you what's wrong with everything.
Yeah, not, you know, some of that. You can't solve everything. Of course you can't. But, you know, like stuff like that, like the coolant, I can figure that out myself and solve that myself. You know, pulling stuff apart and changing stuff or whatever, I can do that, you know. It's a leap of faith, mate, is what I'm saying. You know.
So you're saying I should buy the fucking Ferrari?
I'm saying just do it. You're only young once. Buy it. Who cares?
Maybe
What's the worst that's going to happen? What's the worst that's going to happen? You're going to enjoy your BMW for a bit, and it'll cost. Yeah, who gives a fuck? Just do it. Yeah. You obviously want to. You talk about it enough, and don't listen to the missus and get a 1 Series.
He fucking just massively vetoed multiple vehicles. He was like, I showed this lovely Mercedes. Yeah, it only had 2 doors though. She literally took one look at it and went, "That's a really nice colour. Oh, hang on, it's got 2 doors. What if we have an accident? The kids aren't getting out if we're both dead." I was like, fucking hell, talk about looking on the bad side of things. Fuck me. It's like, look at the colour again. Look at the colour again.
I've generally found if you were going to buy something really nice, whenever I've bought stuff that's really nice, like my wife's attitude has changed once it's been in place and is being
once you've actually
used it as it was meant to. You know, they sort of come round to the idea.
Do they though?
So they do.
I was like, yeah, it's got heated seats though in the front. Don't worry about everyone dying.
Yeah,
we'll be dying with heated seats.
Extreme.
Dying with a warm butt.
Fuck.
Yeah.
So,
what should he do, Dave?
Huh?
What should he do?
Do what he wants. Like literally. Like.
Do you think Dave sits there and gets permission when he needs to buy a new motorbike?
Yes, he's fucking totally. No, actually, no, probably doesn't.
This missus is
into the motorbike though. She loves the motorbike though.
Well, she does now. So
she likes a throbbing monster between her legs.
It's easier to ask for forgiveness than to ask permission.
Yeah, the thing is, she's got the money. That's the problem in my house.
She holding on to the strings.
Yeah.
Oh no! Sort that out, man. Do it. Get it.
Which one though? What should I get? What should I get?
I would say you get a 3 Series Beamer. I reckon your aftermarket support is there's tons of them around. You know, parts.
Is the garage local?
You know,
is there BMW?
No, I'm looking. I think I've got to be honest. I was looking.
You know what you need to do?
What?
Don't go to a dealer. Go to a guy who's independent, who specializes in BMWs.
Yeah.
Talk to him and say, "I'm looking for a car. You know, do you know anyone who's selling a car? And would you support me?" Right? And then you have a guy, and he's giving you the car that he's responsible for.
The guy down at the garage, because like I said to him, I like these cars. And he was like, "Oh, I've got one of them coming in." I was like, "How much is that then?" He was like, 20.5 grand. I was like, "Yeah, that's a bit too rich for my blood. I'm not paying that much money for a car." So I reckon if I went to him and said, "This is what I want," he might be able to. Because like I said to him, when can I have a look at that car? Then he was like, I've literally just bought it. It's in Newcastle." I was just like, okay. I was like, so when's it going to be down here then? I was like, oh, probably next week or some point. I was like, fucking, how do you just buy a car? Fucking like that far away. I was like, did you even look at the fucking car before you bought this fucking thing?
He went, of course I did. He's got a 20-point inspection check on it. No, he's not going to tell you that, is he?
Yeah, so I'm like, I don't know. I just really want a nice car. I want a nice car. There's a lot. Of course
you do.
The Cinch website looks like it's got some quite nice car BMs on it, at reasonable prices, and with reasonable mileage. Whereas our next door neighbour works for a car company, and she was like, I said to my missus, like, ask her if she can get like friends and family discount. She was like, "No, I can't really do that. But if you tell me a car, I can probably get it checked out to see if it's actually a dud or not."
Right.
It's like, right, okay. And then I looked at the website. I was like, they've all done fucking loads of miles. The ones that I like the look of. Or there was a really nice 1 Series BM that had everything I wanted on it, but it had a fucking massive scratch down the fucking glove box and the bit above the glove box. And I was like, I ain't gonna be happy.
Really?
Yeah.
Who's done that?
I don't know. It's probably someone's put something like add the seats down, shoved something big in there, and fucking put a hoofing great scratch right along. It's like on the glove box and all above the glove box. And I was like, other than that car was fucking lovely. Yeah. I was like, I'm not paying the loads of money to have a car when every time I look over and go, all I can see is a great big fucking scratch in the fucking car.
Yeah. So, I've got a dent in the side of my car. Every time I come up to it from the car park, I go, "Oh shit, someone's hit me!" And I go, "Oh no, that's the."
No, that was already there.
It was already there.
Yeah, I did that.
Yeah, inside was where you spend most of your time. That's the problem.
Yeah. That's the thing. That's what's like. That's what made me laugh when I was saying to the wife about like this white car. She's like, "Oh, I don't like white." You know,
my missus said that as well. I really like white cars. I said to the guy, "I love a white car when it's clean. The instant you drive it away, it looks shit."
Yeah. But it's like, I don't look at the car when I'm not in it.
Yeah.
So I don't care. Like, it gets washed the same amount of times as it does like before.
Yeah.
If it's a different colour, because yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
My car's so dirty, embarrassing.
Yeah. Apparently, silver's the colour to get if you like a dirty car. You can't be asked.
Correct.
I've had lots of grey cars which don't look too bad when you don't bother washing them.
Yeah.
Black is another colour. Yeah, that's the sort of colour I go for. Grey. Yeah. My Fiesta's grey. My Yaris was grey. Every other car than that was just random fucking whatever I got colour. I had a red car. I've been looking at Audi A3s and A4s as well. They look quite nice.
A4, yeah. You don't want an A3.
There was an A3 Quattro that looked pretty fucking good, I have to say.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, it was red. I was like, that looks fucking nice. Didn't have heated seats
though. All right, is that cars?
Yeah.
Keep us abreast of this next week.
Yeah, I will still not have bought a new car. I did go as far as getting a quote on a 3 Series BMW for insurance. That was quite a lot.
Oh, not for a company. I was going to say you were going to be badgered forever now.
Oh, it was Go Compare. I just ticked all the unticked boxes. That means don't fucking contact me or whatever. So I got one.
I forgot to tell you when I was at the drive show. Sorry. So anyway, I'm walking through all the exhibitor points at this drive show, right? And there's this Mobil, the people who make the oil, right? Have a big spinner, win a prize spinner, whatever.
Does it say solve climate crisis on one of them?
And there was nothing about the climate. You had to answer a question and then you could pick a prize from the table, right? And the queue wasn't very big and they had some pretty nice baseball caps. I thought, you know what? Normally I wouldn't. I don't need keychains and shit like that, but I'll go for a cap. Why not? I was waiting for my kids anyway. And I spun it and I had to answer a question and I answered the question, whatever it was. And then I got to the table and they had like bags, stickers, keychains, hats, air fresheners, all this stuff, all these little bits and pieces, right? You know, with Mobil branded or whatever like that. And I somehow got confused, and I said, "Oh, can we have whatever we want?" And she said, "Yeah, just pick one." But I missed the pick one bit. So I grabbed a bag and I started going, "Oh, I'll have one of them, one of them, one of them, one of them." And I basically filled up the bag with everything that was on the table. And then I went, "Oh, are those stickers?" And she goes, "Yeah." And I went, "Oh, can I have one of those then as well, please? Thanks." And just went and I walked off. And my son goes, "You're only supposed to pick one thing." And I just had loaded up this bag with everything. It was just
Look at the senile old man. He doesn't know what he's doing.
And I sort of felt a bit bad about it. I was like, "Ooh, that's a bit wrong."
They haven't fucking lynched me though, so fuck it, let's go.
It was 50. Yeah, exactly. It was 50-50. One part I was embarrassed at what I'd done. The other 50% was just like, well, I got away with
what
that.
What a massive
really.
blag. Nice. Let's go.
Honestly, this age, I'm totally convinced I can get away with murder, man. I'm doing most things. Just walk in Boulder's Brass to places, just talk to people, walk across gates, ignore people on front lines and all.
Sorry, it's my age. Don't know what I'm doing.
I'm just old and I don't
sorry.
give a crap. And if whatever. The other day as well, I was walking the dog, and it was 6:30 in the morning. Walking the dog, and it just catches my eye on the roadside. I'm like, "What's that?" And I look, and I pulled out. Somebody had thrown out on the roadside this Yamaha graphic equalizer with spectrum analyzer.
Is this what you posted a picture of?
Yeah.
I was like, "What the hell is this?"
And I was like, "Holy shit!" So I picked it up and just took it straight home. It's a beautiful piece of kit, absolutely beautiful piece of kit. The sort of thing that I would always want, but I would never.
If it was in the 90s, yeah.
In the 90s, but then I bought. So that set me off. So I bought the matching CD player this week, so you can see that. And I've got my eye on an amp. I just have to go down and buy it. And I'm basically
any of this.
And basically,
don't need any of this.
Mate, I tell you what, I sat last night just listening to music on and just looking at this piece of kit. It's gorgeous, just gorgeous.
Were you, like, poking up the sliders.
Yeah, changing the sliders.
7.2 kilohertz, up a notch.
It goes back to because if you look at the design of stuff, pretty much from 2000, 2000 onwards, most of it's designed to be hidden, right? That's when we moved into mid 90s, we moved into AV gear, right? And so AV gear, it's so neutered stylistically because it's just black and meant to just sit there, right? And tucked out of the way.
That thing and built 2001. It's like a monolith.
Yeah, exactly. Built to a price as well, right? But this Yamaha gear just looks sweet. I love it. I think it just looks great. So I'm building up this system for my bedroom.
Been cranking up the bass, have you?
No, this one's not even going to. The amp I've got is a small amp. It's not even that big. Yeah. It's be my 6th system.
Oh my God, you've got a problem.
And the guy I bought the CD player from texted me today. He goes, I've got an amp. Are you interested in it? I went, what model? And then he told me, I was like,
dumb question.
I was like, I don't want that. And he goes, I got some speakers too. I was like, I don't need speakers. So I have been good.
So you've bought some new speakers?
No, I haven't bought new speakers. So I've been good. I've got 2 pairs of speakers I've yet to use. So I have space.
Have you found a U and an N to go next to your F yet?
I was thinking about maybe getting the Y and the I, but Five Guys, they're not going to have an N, are they? That's the problem.
No, but you could,
I could get the G and the U and have Guff.
Yeah. Or you could get a U and a C and a K, I guess. Put FC UK.
Well, there's no K in Five Guys, is there?
No, but that doesn't mean that there's not in other brands. You could have a right mishmash.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Canuck, something or other.
So anyway, I'm back to buying hi-fi equipment again. I've got the buzz of buying hi-fi equipment is alive and well. Sorry.
You didn't even buy that one. You fucking picked it up off the road. You just said.
Sweet. Well, I paid for the CD player there.
What do they call that when you eat roadkill, isn't it? What's that?
I'm not eating it.
No, but you're sort of like.
Come on, it looks like a nice piece of kit. Though.
It's not kill. It's road kit. Apparently, road kit, not kill.
Road kit. Yeah, I like a bit of road kit. What have you guys been up to? Who wants to go next? Anyone? Neil's got nothing on his.
Yes.
No. All I've done is I've watched the whole series of What We Do in the Shadows.
Oh yeah.
Because I think that was on Paramount or something, and I only like to watch stuff when it's the whole series has been
Had you not seen any of it before?
Not of season 5, no. So, but there's
season 5.
Yeah,
oh,
so there's 8 or 10 episodes in that. So
I'm not nowhere near that far through. Oh.
It continues to be great.
Does Simon turn up anymore?
Simon?
Yeah, he's the other vampire. Do you remember who was? He had the gang.
Oh, yeah,
the rival gang in Manhattan. He had the Manhattan District or something.
I think that's like season 3 or something.
Yeah, but he does come back.
I think he does on his own, maybe.
He comes back with 2 others, and they try to steal the hat again or something.
Yes, yeah. The hat that's cursed, but he loves it. No, it's the season 5's more about Gizmo, or what's his actual name? Guillermo. It's quite heavily centric on him.
The human.
Yeah.
He's the familiar, but it turns out he's related to Van Helsing.
Yes.
So he keeps killing people by accident.
But his whole family's involved with it as well.
Oh,
so
nice.
How do I say this without saying anything? It could have gone down a really bad route, but I think it has been thought out from start to finish, the story arc. So is
it a season story arc?
Yeah.
Then.
Yeah, it is. And it carries on from the end of season 4, but because you haven't seen that, like when that happens, you're like, how are they actually going to resolve this? Right. Or where's this going to go? But it's a very good story within, and the mini stories that they go down. The funniest one is the vampires find the mall, and they're just running around the mall, like just going to all the shops and going on the little fairground things and stuff. And it's actually,
oh yeah, I know where that is too. I bet that's at Woodbine. Yeah, there's a mall not far from us down here. It's got an indoor
carousel
circus place.
Yeah, it's
got to be it.
Okay, yeah.
Because they film it in Toronto.
Isn't everything in Toronto filmed?
A lot of stuff is filmed there. Yeah.
We're
nearly done Silo.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, we pushed through past the middle of the season and really got into it. So we just have a couple more to watch, but we're just trying to find the time to catch up with each other and watch them.
We need to crank on with that.
Yeah.
How long have you got Apple for?
As long as I want, mate.
Ooh, fancy.
You're not gonna hold me. I'm not intimidated by their $8.99 a month.
Is it really that much?
Yeah, it's all right.
That's pretty cheap.
There's a couple of things we're going to watch, and I think my wife has a couple of seasons that she wants to finish off.
There is some good stuff on Apple, I have to say. Even I've never been a big Apple fan. I have an iPhone now, but the TV stuff is all very high quality. Even if you're not into it, it's definitely high quality. I've not watched that morning show thing with Jennifer Aniston.
That's the one my wife wants to finish watching.
Yeah, I'm not. I look at the trailers and I'm like, nah.
It's not for you.
Nah.
All right. Anything else?
Not for me.
All right, then. Let's move on then to what we've been playing.
Fucking hell, it's a bit early for that, isn't it?
Yeah. It's all right. We can have early finish today.
Ooh. Not for the first time.
Who's going first? I've got nothing.
Oh, really?
All I'll do, I can get my section done and out of the way.
Have you not played Starfield?
Not this week, no.
Oh my god!
I've done nothing this week.
You said you played Sea of Stars.
I started it for 5 minutes. I can't even remember what happened.
Wow.
I'll talk to you when you talk about it. The most important thing for me this week is probably the fact that we've been playing Hunt. I'm in a good Hunt mood right now. Just want to get out there and kill people. And props to Gary, who's returned. He's got the hunt bug again, so he's been popping up for some early morning hunting.
Did notice this morning,
which has been good. So that continues to be great.
Is that it? Are you done?
Oh, I played Valorant. I had an excellent game of Valorant last night with my daughter and Arnie.
Game.
Yeah, one excellent game.
You only play one game and then you're done, are you? Especially if it's excellent.
That's usually enough. Yeah, that's usually enough. So.
Mm.
Okay, what about you guys?
This could be a short show.
Sure.
What is this, Dave?
So I'll talk about my game. I picked up and I've been watching a few videos about it. A game called Mad Games Tycoon 2. It's basically a game dev story, but a lot more complicated. That has had, I think, released earlier this year, in May, June time.
Holy crap! It's just a season. So it's according to these. What season are you in?
What
It says seasons. What is that?
I'm not sure if it's. I don't know. I don't know about seasons. It's it's basically a tycoon game about game development and
very topical.
So yeah, it's good. It's had very good reviews on Steam. There's lots of depth to it. Game Dev Tycoon is about 10 years old, and once you actually got into it, it was quite simple. Whereas this Mad Games Tycoon, there's a lot more complexity of it.
It says start your own game development studio in 1976.
Oh, you don't get to choose Unity as an engine then.
How does that? What does that mean? Why does that sort of lend itself to the game?
So you can, well, it starts at the very start of computing. So there's only like one or two different game consoles that you've got a choice of, and it's all fake. It's all it's Sony and Nintendo.
They weren't doing any fucking gaming bollocks.
No, I know, but like Atari and but
do you work your way up the years then?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not just based in 1976.
No. It's the years and the months progress and in different seasons have got different sale. Do well or not. So Christmas is very busy for games and summer is not so much, and you've got to hire developers and you actually you start the development of the games and you create a team to.
Can you create a game called Mood?
You
like
can create a
3D
game
shooter or something called Mood.
You can, yeah, and obviously the technology gets more complex as it goes through. So in the 70s, it's 2D graphics and like 1-bit sound and stuff like that. Whereas as the years get on, you get 3D graphics and better sound and different topics and genres.
You get to the stage where you're making furry games.
Pretty much, yeah. Or you're making consoles, or you're actually producing you're selling the game, or you're not only selling the game, but you're creating different packages, different. So you can have like special editions with additional content, and then you can create additional content. You can set your teams to do DLC for it, or regular updates to get rid of bugs if you just want to chuck a game out but then develop it to get rid of the bugs later. Yeah, there's a lot to it. It's good. It's good. It's one of the games that I like to play.
A Dave game.
A Dave game.
Did you buy this? Or did you one of the games you like? Oh, I remember having this game from like 2010.
Came out in May, right?
Was it May? So I had 15 quid on my Steam library because I refunded the game.
Harry, gee whiz.
So
buy me a car. Buy me a car.
It was 20 quid, so I actually paid £6 for it. Oof. So I'd probably say if you're not sure, like wait for a sale because I'm sure it'll go on sale at some point. But yeah, it's I like it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure about
Part of me is telling me play that game. I don't know. I feel like there's a future me is going to be all over something like this.
This is when you literally can't even shoot the meathead in Hunt.
When I've given up on life, and I will play Mad Games Tycoon 2.
Is it called Bad Games Tycoon 2? Is it?
It looks good.
It's very enjoyable.
Does the user interface go along with the sort of progression of things? So it looks pretty Windows 3.1.
No, not so much. No, I wouldn't say that it's well, what I've played of it, I've only played the first couple of years, but I don't think it does. It's definitely a small developer that's made it, but
They have another
I hope they
game.
didn't fucking use Unity.
no.
Oh no, developer egg code. There's another game called Espresso Tycoon. They're bundling in a package, but that looks to be like a different developer.
That sounds like
Right.
that you might make coffee in that game.
Correct.
Ooh.
Fulfilling all your barista dreams, Neil.
Mm. I've done all that already.
How?
I make coffee. It's not hard.
I made coffee this morning.
I made a cock in my milk. Whatever.
Nice.
Right.
All right. Mad Game Tycoon 2.
That's a bit of a random curveball.
I'm going to add that to my wish list, you know.
Wow.
Nobody else I know is playing this.
Right.
So, which is
That does not surprise me, Dave.
But no, it's good. It has multiplayer. So
how does that work?
I have no idea.
You can
literally no
fail.
idea. As I was starting the game, I was like, "What do you mean it's got multiplayer?" Like,
Can
I honestly don't know.
Local play that multiplayer.
Maybe you play at the same game speed and like it's a continual game. I don't know. I don't know. I do not know.
What about Mad Games 1? Mad Games Tycoon, the first one.
I don't know.
From 2016, very positive.
Oh, okay. Oh, I've never. No, I hadn't heard of the first one.
It exists. Form your own game studio set in the early 1980s in a small garage. Might as well jump into number 2 where they've made everything good.
Yeah.
You think?
Well, that's the theory, yeah.
Ideally.
I'm going to wish list it.
Well, there you go.
All right. You want to? Oh, well, I know what your other game is. Neil, you might as well
we do that
push
last,
through
shall
yours.
we?
Yes.
Right. Okay. I played a little bit, the most I've ever played, of Dirt Rally 2 in the last week. Which I've
How old is that game?
Quite old. I don't really know when it came out. I've had it ages. Apparently, before this week, I played something like 75 minutes. Don't know why. I never really carried on playing it. Because the game's fucking awesome. So you have... This is from Codemasters. So the Rally
They know
DNA,
what they're doing.
There was Colin McRae from back in the day. They made the Colin McRae games on the consoles, wherever they were, and PCs probably. But Dirt Rally, I played a lot of the original Dirt Rally and really enjoyed it. And Dirt Rally 2, for whatever reason, I loved it, but I didn't play that much of it. Because it was just an improvement on Dirt Rally 1. There was a lot of DLC that you could buy, I believe, which may have been a bit of an issue. But the reason I've started this is because the new World Rally Championship game is coming out from EA Sports, which
it's in the game.
Yes. If people didn't know, bought Codemasters, who made Dirt Rally games. So the World Rally Championship games previously have been made by another developer. I am not sure who that is. But I was quite intrigued to see that the next World Rally game is made from the Codemasters, which is, like I say, the Dirt Rally devs and Colin McRae devs prior to that. So there's probably been obviously individual turnover in terms of staff members over that period of time, but Dirt Rally and Dirt Rally 2 for me are pinnacle of rally simulation games. I was playing with my controller, so I didn't bust the wheel out for this. I have played this game in VR with the wheel, and it's fucking phenomenal in that.
Oh yeah.
Yes. but I can't play VR without getting some new lenses for the VR, because my glasses prescription has changed so much from my old lenses that I had from VR, and my VR lenses don't fit my Quest 2. They were for the original Rift, which I sold.
Oh.
So I don't have good lenses to play in VR anymore. But that, if you have the technology, that is a phenomenal way to play a rally driving game. Might make you feel a bit sick if you're, because you do feel like you're moving incredibly fast especially when you're doing the tree-lined Australia tracks or whatever like that. But, Dirt Rally 2, visually a massive step up from Dirt Rally 1. I play in a cockpit view, like the video we're watching is from the third person view of behind the car sort of thing. It's a bit of a mix, to be fair, because it's just switched to over the bonnet view. But there's multiple views, but the cockpit view is my preferred way to play these games, and any racing game, really. But yeah, it's fucking so good. That the thing with the new game will be, I think they are going to simulate the actual rally tracks that they're going to play in the World Rally Championship using their whatever engine it is they use in Dirt Rally 2. Let me get rid of that. So, Dirt Rally 2, a phenomenal simulation of rally gaming. That's all I can say, really.
Yes.
It's a lot of fun if you like that kind of thing. If you don't like rally games or racing games, probably not for you. But if you're like Forza Horizon, I don't know, it's a bit of a step up from that for sure, because you are.
Where were you playing it? Sorry,
I've got this on PC.
See, you talk about it, and there's a part of me just goes, "Yeah, man, I wouldn't mind doing some rally driving." Like it's more arcade. It feels like that should be more arcadey and easy.
Arcadey.
No, it's not. I think
I'm driving at the stage that I am in my career, because I was doing the career mode. I'm driving a Lancia Felvia or something. I don't know. It's from like 1967, front wheel drive. Basically a piece of shit. Versus like obviously the insane days of rally, Group B rally cars, where they had that ridiculous Metro. It was like
6R4.
Yeah, it was like fucking 700 horsepower or something, and it was like weighed about 100 kilos.
That was just like my
it was
Metro.
Fucking ridiculous. Basically, was quite capable of killing the person who was people who were driving or like reading notes in the car, and anyone else who was near the track. And then like the Audi Quattro coupe that absolutely like monstered things for years. Back in like the 80s, whatever. When I kind of was into rally, watching rally games.
Yeah, beautiful
watching rally, yeah.
Delta Integrale and stuff like that.
Yeah. Like the sort of glory days of rally. And then, I say glory days, but like there was clearly that from the British point of view, the glory days were when Colin McRae was absolutely monstering it in the Subaru. Yeah. And things were a little bit safer probably in those days. But yeah, obviously he passed away quite a long time ago now. I think it's been 25 years.
No, it's not been that long. No,
was it? It was quite a while ago. I remember saying something the other day that it was quite a while ago. Maybe it was 10
maybe
years.
15 years.
Maybe 15 years. But yeah, it's been quite a while since we lost Colin McRae. But yeah, I've always loved
him.
Well, I didn't. Yeah, you know what I mean. Yeah, I love rally. I did a bit of real rallying. Went to Silverstone and did the rally training stuff in a Fiesta. That was fucking ridiculously cool. But like rallying is like nothing you've ever done in a car. And the video games, so that I've played at least, like I'm not so keen on the World Rally one for some reason. It feels a bit floaty. But yeah, Dirt Rally and Dirt Rally 2 have been some of my favourite rally games, and I'm really hoping beyond hope that the new World Rally Championship game from Codemasters turns out to be like awesome, because I believe it's going to have like course creation in there as well as all of the stuff that's in the game. Right? I think that's in Dirt Rally 2 somewhere. You can sort of create your own, like it's like I don't know if it's procedural or whatever, but you can. I feel like that you can, and maybe it's through mods or whatever, but you can create your own courses and stuff like that. I haven't scratched into that, but I've been, like I say, doing the old-fashioned, like it's like the original Mini Cooper is in the same class as what I've been rallying, my Lancia, Fairview, or whatever it is. But I know I have definitely tried like the more modern versions of rally in this game, and it's been extremely fucking hard because you go so much faster. But yeah, it's so fucking cool. Yeah.
Right.
So Dirt Rally 2 is fucking
Neil's got his
ridiculously
drive
cheap.
back on.
It's ridiculous. I am thinking I've got my old steering wheel in the other room. I was talking to my wife about moving this office room around so I could get my steering wheel, chair, and everything sorted in this room because I'm definitely into cars at the minute. It seems.
Cars on the brain.
Yes. Speaking of which, Assetto Corsa Competizione is on a free weekend. I think it's on Xbox and Steam.
That's pretty much a game as a service, though, isn't it now?
I don't know about that. You can definitely you buy the base game, and there's a lot of game there. And usually, especially if you're on a PC, there's a lot of mods available. The original Assetto Corsa is still getting played heavily because there's so many mods that make the game look better, add new cars, add new tracks, and stuff like that. So that's very cool. So, Sea of Stars. Shall I talk about Sea of Stars before we talk about the other game?
Sure.
Oh.
So, obviously, we've been playing the other Star game, which Master Black 4 mentioned earlier, and we mentioned last week. But I did mention, I believe, Sea of Stars. I don't think I really talked about it last week, but I mentioned I sort of started it, but not really got anywhere with it. And Sea of Stars is the retro Super Nintendo Chrono Trigger style JRPG type of game. So it's turn-based combat. It's a bit of a Chrono Trigger is probably the closest thing. There's a bit like Zelda when you're walking around an overworld and you hit into combat encounters, and that's when you hit into the turn-based combat. But I've really enjoyed what I've played of Sea of Stars. It's a very chill vibe versus any other game that I've been playing at the minute. But at the same time, keeps you focused and interested in what's going on. I'm just trying to find a video that's not full of nonsense. So yeah, it's like I say, it's very retro looking. You get to choose one of two characters, male or female. The female is a lunar solstice warrior, and the male is the solar solstice warrior. So you have different abilities, but you basically, when you start the game, you go around as the pair of you together. Start off as small children, and you obviously have been identified as having these innate abilities as young kids, and one of your other friends is just a normie, but he likes to tag along.
Of course he does.
You get into a little scrape when you're little kiddies, and the normie guy basically gets his eye poked out, fucking seriously hurt as a small child. Small spoilers for the very, very beginning of the game. But the two of you, the special chosen ones, you go off and you dedicate yourself to 10 years of like training, and your mate is like just left with his singular eye, moping around, waiting to meet up with you again. So you finish your training after these 10 years, and then when you go out into the world, lo and behold, your old mate turns up with his single eye, and he's a really good chef.
He's a really good what?
Chef. So he cooks all of your food to help you sustain your journey as you're going on. But he also contributes in the combat when you get into combat in the when you get a bit older. Once you've graduated from the thing, whatever you're doing, can't remember what it's called. But yeah, you have to you do some little training montages, and you see yourselves getting older, and then you leave, and then you're obviously off into your main adventure, which doesn't fuck about, basically taking forever to get through all of the bullshit before you actually just go off on your adventures. It does take a while, but whatever you do it's all building the story and some sort of get to know your characters as they grow. But once you get out into the world, like it says, it's like you choose a party lead, one of the 2 solstice warriors, and then you just, wherever you go, you're 2 or 3 or whatever, how many of you are there, follow each other, and you go around these 2D maps to wherever you need to get to. There's a lot of little simple puzzles to solve, and little scrapes to get into, things to read or whatever you like. Similar typical old school RPGs. There's some really nice little cutscenes that are literally very, very short cutscenes that are animated really beautifully in 2D. And then the thing, the Solstice Warrior thing, is you have control in certain periods of the game over the time of day. So some of the puzzles that you need to solve revolve around standing in a particular place and changing the time of day to make things activate, like crystals and shit like that, all that sort of nonsense that you get in RPGs.
Are you a shaman?
Maybe. They haven't said that, but maybe they are. But yeah, it's very old school, but looking initially. But like I say, the lighting and the shadows and everything are very modern. You can see there's obviously a light source, like a campfire or whatever, and when you're walking around the campfire, you can see your shadows moving properly, in line with the light. So initially, it looks very basic and old, 16-bit kind of RPG, but there's a lot of modern flourishes. And
it felt to me when I was playing it like it was almost, it had been streamlined compared to what we would play normally.
I think what you're getting is most of the old bullshit has been totally removed from the old RPGs, and you're just yeah, this could have taken literally 10 times as long as to get this far as I have now, but they've got rid of a lot of the old crap that used to fuck it. You can avoid combat in the open, you're walking around the map and there's these, obviously there's enemies, you can see enemies wandering around. You're I can avoid those enemies if I run around quick enough or whatever and get to the point where I need to do. Or you can just go and engage those enemies because it doesn't take that long to fight and it's relatively straightforward. I have lost 1 or 2 fights maybe against the bigger enemies, but you can get into a scrape. There's usually multiple, I haven't had any slimes, but that's what you're kind of talking about. It's you get into a sort of, not quite Slay the Spire, but it's that kind of vibe where you're what you do get is, there's been a few games of this that have done this. It's the turn-based, it is a turn-based RPG, but when you do your attack, if you press your X button at the right point when you do your attack, you basically do a double attack. And then when the opponents attack you, if you press the X button at the right time, you will take less damage. Right. And then there's other things if you do a basic attack, you can see this mana kind of falls out of the enemy, and you can absorb, you've got a party of 2 or 3 or whatever, you can absorb that energy to boost your attack and do a different type of elemental damage. So it might be a solar damage or a lunar damage depending on your character. The lady character, Valera, I think her name is. Like she's like the lunar character. One of her attacks is the Moonerang or something like that, and you launch out this like boomerang, and it hits something, bounces back at you, and if you press the button at the right time, it will fling another attack, and it gets quicker and quicker and quicker. And I did like I was like, bang, 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 like literally like virtually tap 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 tap, and you get to the point where it's just doing fucking ridiculous amounts of attacks. So you do tons and tons of damage on this one attack. But that obviously drains your magic points. But every time you do a basic attack, you regain your magic points. So it's quite hard to lose a battle because as long as you're playing relatively clever, like you go in, first thing you do, probably use your mana attack to do some damage, and then the next attack you'll just do a standard attack, regain your mana points, so you can then do another magic attack. But at certain points in a battle, the enemies will show, like they'll tell you how many turns they've got to do an attack. So it will say like there'll be like a little like stopwatch with the number 3 in. So every 3 attacks you do, once you've done those 3 attacks, they will attack you. But there'll be some symbols above them, like a hammer or a sword or a star, like a sun or a moon. And if you do the relevant types of elemental damage to those before they get to their timer runs down, you like lock their attacks so they don't attack you, and you can then re-attack them. So it's got all sorts of mechanics that are actually very cool. And
okay.
But it's the sort of game you could be playing because it's turn-based. You're like, I'm in the middle of I'm doing this while my dinner's on or whatever, and like the timer goes for do your dinner. I could just put the controller down, go and sort of turn my chips or whatever, come back, and nothing's happened. So I can just fucking crack on. Right. So it's a bit more of a chill vibe RPG, which you're in sort of complete control of. And if you're clever, you can kind of dominate. And I'm leveling. I've only got to level 4 in most of my characters after quite a bit of time. But I think it's pretty cool. Like I say, the combat mechanic's very cool. The story is there if you want it. You can just skip past in most of it if you want, I guess, and just carry on battling stuff. There's some cool little exploration puzzles that you have to go through as you get through the game. Like, it's relatively linear progression. I think it's only like 20 to 30 hours to finish the whole thing. So it's all right if you like that kind of shit.
I'm going to get back to it.
Yeah, it's worth it. Like I say, I'm playing it on PS5, so it's my okay. I can play it when I'm on the TV game. When I'm just ignore everyone who's trying to talk to me. We'll play it very late at night. But yeah, it's cool. It's on Xbox Game Pass. It's on PC Game Pass. It's on PlayStation Plus Premium, Medium, whatever it's called, Extra. So yeah, you don't have to pay for it. Well, you do have to pay for it, but yeah. You know what I mean.
Yep. All right. Okay. Should we talk about Starfield then? The Starfield section.
The feels of stars.
We've lost a third of our momentum for Starfield because I didn't play it this week.
Not at all.
Nope.
Okay.
Why is that?
You know what? It's a lie. I picked it up and did play it. But I just could not be bothered with it. And I just went, I'm not interested in this. I just put it down and walked away.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I don't know why. I think I was...
so how many hours
it was just it was just a bad time for me to pick it up. I think that was all it was. So I have a feeling, just ignore me. I have a feeling that I will come back to it. I'm not going to lie. And this is fucking old man stuff. I'm struggling to play with it on my downstairs television with it. You know, I feel like I need to be up closer to the screen.
Yeah, that's how I'm playing it on PC with mouse and keyboard.
I need to address that.
Well, all of the progress you've made should transfer over to the PC if you choose to do that.
I have really not made that much progress.
Well, it's enough.
I think
it's enough progress. To not want to doing that again.
True. Yeah, true. It's a few hours, so Oh, what about you guys? Get some time in on it?
Yeah, you could say that.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
So, what level are you at now?
Not mega high, only like 14 or 15.
Oh, okay.
Noob.
Yeah.
Dave, go on, crush him. Where are you?
26.
Oh, that's not as
Whoa.
high as I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
Maybe in the
So
40s.
what have you been side questing or main questing?
Side questing, surveying, outposting.
Has a thing happened that you go, oh, like with the main quest?
Not sure. I found some. I found a couple of artifacts.
Yeah.
They've tried to enlist me into the
Constellation.
rodeo. No, well, both the Constellation and the other one, the Frontier one.
I keep getting offered into everything. I've basically refused everything other than Constellation, obviously, because that's the main quest.
And yeah, I don't know. I've got. I don't know. I like some parts of the game.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like the space combat.
Yeah, there's a mission that I failed multiple times on space combat, which was really fun because I was like, "This is all right, this kind of space combat," and then I played this one mission that I fucking just kept on getting absolutely destroyed.
Is it the one where you gotta save the different people from the different planets?
I don't know. It's something about there's a guy who wants me to. I don't know. It's like they keep attacking satellites or something.
Yeah,
and I have
that's
to,
the one. Yep.
Albon something or other, and I'm like, oh, there's only 3 spaceships. I got to the point. It was like, fuck this. I'm going to have to go and do something else to come back and level up.
Yeah.
So I leveled up some space combat stuff and came back, and I managed to kill one of the spaceships, and then got absolutely wrecked by one of the others. I was like, for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
So obviously I'm off to fucking do something else while I get better at this. But yeah.
Space. That is the mission that I did it. I got to the end of it. I was like, I'm done with space combat. It's the most unenjoyable part of that game. The story, the actual first person shooting, the looting and the looking at your weapons and everything like that. I don't mind that.
I've constantly got too much shit.
Yeah.
I've got too many guns. I've got too many fucking inhalers and fucking God knows what.
Yeah,
I don't pick up any old tat like fucking pliers or whatever. I've not picked up any of that shit. Yeah, no cups, none of that. I've not picked up any of that shit like I used to do in whatever Fallout and Skyrim, because I thought, oh, maybe I could sell that for like 0.2 of a fucking credit. But I have constantly going up to one of my crew and going, yeah, can you hold on to this ton of shit that I've picked up? And that is quite fucking annoying.
Is that just not keeping up yet? Because straight away I noticed, and I didn't do much in the game. Straight away I was just like, oh shit, I gotta get on top of this housekeeping straight away, otherwise.
Like the thing is, I don't know what to keep.
Yeah, but I think if you've got experience in these, I mean,
anything that
all of that stuff that I keep says this is a crafting fucking thing. You can use this is an exotic crafting thing. I'm like, well, I guess I better fucking keep that then, because that's obviously quite rare. And I've got fucking so much of that shit.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe somebody who's deeper into it can tell you. You see, that's why I enjoyed Fallout 4 so much when I went back to it for the second time, because I started with a guide, and the guide basically said, from the outset, you don't need to do this. Don't worry about that. This is what, concentrate on this. And it got me up and running so quick. And I feel like I need this for Starfield. Like, it's not that I just don't have the time or the impetus.
Well, what I've been doing, I've done quite a bit of the main quest. And yeah, that definitely opens up some things you're like, oh, okay. this is the thing I didn't know was in the game. It's been kept like I've,
Right.
There's some stuff on, like, there's loads of stuff. If you fucking look on social media, you'll find stuff. But if you are ignorant of that, or not involved in that, or
I'm
not
totally ignorant of it all,
or not looking at guides and stuff like that, or checking stuff out, there's stuff in the game I was like, I didn't know that was in the game. That's kind of cool. So do the main quest would be my large piece of advice.
Just stay on the main quest. Yeah.
You don't like
one thing
at the same time. I do find I say that, but it's so easy to go. Yeah, but while I'm in this place, I'm just going to go and do this piece of shit quest that's like in there.
Yeah. So there is one quest that I spent ages doing. It's something about a hidden outpost or something.
There's a one that I picked up a quest like when you basically most of the quests you pick up are from overhearing guards talk about shit, and it's like you're just walking past and like someone's having a conversation. I'm like, so I guess I'm going to hang around and like listen to this conversation because something might happen here. You just like stand there watching, and then it goes, ping, mission pops up. Go to this place. You're like, all right, okay, I'll go to that place. Then you look at your map and it's like, you can't jump here because you haven't been to this other place. And you're like, oh, I guess I'll put that one in the bank.
But yeah, I got a new ship called the Mantis.
You want another ship?
I got another ship.
I've got a mission called Mantis.
That'll be it.
Right.
And it unlocks additional
cargo hold.
Well, yeah, that.
Bigger pockets.
But it and a new suit as well, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, suits are fucking heavy and they take up loads of inventory space. They're annoying.
Yeah.
I have had a lot of good times, I have to say, in this game. I am, might sound like I'm being a bit negative, but I have played quite a bit of this game and enjoyed a lot of what I've played. But there are things that are super annoying.
So remember what I was saying last week, and I think actually you two switched off when I was talking about it. When I was talking about like the actual smaller planets having a different time.
Yeah, no, I was, and the gravity you talked about too.
Yeah. So, outposts.
Switch off when you talk.
Yeah. So I found a use for it this week.
Right.
Okay.
So when you're crafting materials, or when you're sleeping to pass time on these worlds.
Who does sleeping?
You got to sleep because you get extra XP.
Oh, do you?
Yes, you get a rested XP bonus.
Apparently, you get a lot of XP for boning people.
Well, don't we all?
No, I don't.
But when you're when you've got mines, because I've been mining, I don't know, iron and something else, I can't remember. Aluminium to make
something or other.
Frames or something in an automatic frame thing.
You've been on the crafting thing. Is your satisfactory experience paying off here?
Yeah. When you sleep, the crafting is at a normal speed, but you sleep for extra time. I don't know. It's weird. It messes up time. So basically, the more hours the amount you sleep is times by, I think on the planet that I'm at, or the moon, is like 6 or 7% times, not percent, sorry, 6 or 7 times. So if I sleep an hour, it's like the machines have been running for 6 or 7 hours. So yeah, and then you can also another thing that the game doesn't tell you is when you're near your ship, you can automatically transfer. Yes. I think there's a 200-meter radius or something. You can transfer items from your inventory directly to the ship.
I just keep giving it, like, I do that as well, but my ship hold is full.
Right.
I had to get to the point where it's like, I guess the next skill I unlock is the one that says I can have extra space in my spaceship cargo, as well as the one that says I can carry more cargo.
Right.
And I keep all of my companions have got fucking tons of stuff that they're carrying. I've got fucking about 6 people, excuse me, on my spaceship. I've got a man and his daughter. I've got
Sam,
Andrasia, who I want to bone, apparently. And
right.
Sarah, who wants to bone
me. Is that your
me.
character or you want to bone?
No. My character, obviously. Yeah, Sarah is the one that you meet. Like, she's the sort of contact with the Constellation company that you meet. She's like, there's definitely been quite a few times I could have had the option to flirt with her.
Okay, right.
But I haven't. I've like, nah, not really into her. She's a bit too prim and proper. Andrasia's my girl. She's the one. She's a bit hard to get. She's hard to get, apparently. She's been like the one that's like, there's definitely not been a flirt option with her, but she's definitely liked things that I've done before. I'm like, yeah. So, but she's not like, I've definitely had to reload a few times. Like, I've read about how you can take other people's ships. So I went onto some ship. Like, some ship landed on a planet that I was on. It was like, I'm going to take this ship. Going to fucking run on there. They're going to try and shoot me when I get on. And I went on this ship, and they just all sat there. And I was like, the alarms were going off. Like, there was an intruder alarm going off. I was like, oh, I'm obviously the intruder. Why aren't you fucking doing anything? So I was just like, what's going on here? So I chucked a grenade in someone else's ship, and my companion Andrasia, who I thought was hot, she was like, "Oh, what are you doing? What are you doing? You can't be killing innocent people." I was like, "Oh, this hasn't gone down well. Best reload this one then." But yeah,
that's the good thing about having the adoring fan as your follower.
What? Because he doesn't mind if you kill people, don't
he? He loves everything. Yeah.
I don't want to bone him though.
Yeah. Well, yeah, he's a bit annoying.
It's quite annoying. Yeah, it's fucking. I've never got into one of these games, so I'm enjoying like just fucking around and then reloading when things go to shit. So the amount of times, because like there's a few quite annoying things, like the map. You have to press M on the computer to go to. I don't know how these things work on a controller. So you press M to go into map, and then you press G to go into the local map or whatever. And the amount of times I've forgotten about pressing M and just press G, and it immediately chucks a fucking grenade, and I'm like, shit! And like the grenade fucking kills someone, and I'm like, that wasn't supposed to happen, so I've now got to reload. I've stood on the top, like gone off my spaceship, stood at the top of my ramp, and looked at something and going, I'm just going to fucking lob a grenade at that thing. And then it's obviously hit some geometry that is not supposed to hit when I'm looking at it, and bounced straight back and hit my fucking companion. And I'm like, guess I'm reloading that again then. So there's a lot of that fucking janky bollocks that goes on still. But it is a laugh. When the things go wrong, it's quite funny.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'll just reload that because that wasn't supposed to happen. I haven't lost tons of progress at any point. There's a couple of crashes I've had on PC, but nothing ridiculous.
Okay, no, I haven't had any like that.
Yeah, since they did the update, they were supposed to improve the crashing, which I had not had experienced any of. I've definitely had a couple of crashes. So I was like, this is great.
Okay. Right, yeah.
But yeah, it's fun. It's fucking.
How it feels.
Yeah, there's tons to do. You can do nothing, spend hours doing nothing, and feel like you've made some sort of progress. Or
no, I need to get back into it.
It is fun. But yeah, the fucking encumberment thing is just a massive fucking pain in the ass. I've got so many cool guns that I've picked up, and I'm like, I've got so many cool guns, I don't know which one's good. They're all purple and yellow and stuff, and I don't know which one I should keep.
Yeah,
I can't get to a place where I can sell enough shit to make any decent money to make it worthwhile.
Wolf is a good place.
Who?
Wolf. It's like it's like 1 or 2 jumps from Sol. And there's a guy that's quite close to the entrance of the space station. There's the den.
I'll tell you one thing I did do. Have you picked up any naughty things that you've then
Yeah, I got
When
put in
you
prison. Yeah.
Did you? Did you get
Yeah,
a
I did.
little cheeky mission
got-
out of that?
I didn't because I actually
Ooh.
reloaded and dumped the
See,
car.
so yeah, what you want to do is you want to just go through with that, and you can unlock this whole new mission if you have some contraband and
Okay.
you jump into a certain area.
Right. Okay. Oh, okay. No, fair
Which,
enough.
looking at I progressed through that mission, and I was like, this is cool, and then it went looked at this place where I next needed to go, and it was like level 50. I was like, yeah, I ain't going there for a while, am I? That's going to be one on the back burner for a little while. She's like, make sure you don't wait too long to come and see me, and I'm like, yeah, I'm level 10, and this is a level 50 system that you want me to go to. I'm like, I ain't going there for a while. So that's in my quest list to do. But yeah, it continues to be a fun ride and extremely infuriating at the same time. So there is that. But yeah.
All right.
I think the main thing to do is try and don't spend too long fannying about doing side quests, because there's definitely things that happen in the main quest. They're like, oh, I didn't know this was the thing that was going to happen, but there we go. Now that's just given me something else to think about.
I want to get into it, and I want to head down, make progress. And I think that's, I think the mistake I made the other day was I just didn't know what to do. I was almost a little bit overwhelmed. It's like, well, what do I do next? Like, I went into some cave and I spent ages going around this cave, and I didn't really feel like I had an adventure in that cave. It was like, oh shit, it's a cave, and there could be stuff in it, and there might not be. I mean, there was stuff in it, but at the same time, like, I had to loot 1,000 different things on the floor. Like, that got a bit tedious, like looking around, starting to worry, what am I going to miss? Now I got to look at every nook and cranny. So it's like you with this encumberment of picking, you can't see the wood for the trees, right? You get over, there's just too much to take in. You need to be quite strict, or I do anyway. So I'm going to.
It is a game that you've got to. Well, I was saying to the missus the other day, I was getting so frustrated with myself because I was trying to do that mantis mission to get that thing, and I was just getting distracted everywhere that I was going. I was like, oh, there's new missions here, and I'll just quickly do this one. Oh, there's a planet here that I'll just quickly do because that will increase the percentage of the scanned in this system. Like, why I want to get
that's one thing. It's like
scan and stuff, and it's like, and I was even saying to the wife, I was like, I'm really enjoying the game, but I'm getting annoyed with myself because I cannot concentrate long enough to stay on one path.
But you know what? I think, in all fairness to yourself, it's not that you can't concentrate. It's that
they keep giving you too much shit to do.
Well, there's and you're like, well, if I don't do it now, all I'm going to have to do is come back and do it later, right? And I don't want to do. That's going to be more time, so I might as well do it while I can now. So it's a vicious trap. It's a vicious trap. Look, chat, my dinner's just arrived, actually, so I would like to eat with my family. Yes. So if you don't mind, can we push more Starfield chat to next week?
I'm sure we'll be talking about it next week.
I'm sure. Hopefully I'll join in. Okay, well then, Dave, do you want to do your finish up bit, and then we'll call that show?
Yeah, of course. I will say thank you for listening to the Seal Podcast. If you'd like to ask us questions, get involved, please contact us either on Twitter, or aka Twitter, X, at Seal Podcast. You can email us directly at sealpodcast@gmail.com or join us on our Discord server. A link is pinned on Twitter or X. We have YouTube and Twitch channels which we upload and stream to. Neil, do you want to do a shout out for?
It's just Lord and the
just
real
Lord.
Defio.
The
real
Doofy Scoops. All right, thanks for that, guys, and thanks to whoever joined us, whoever's listening. It's good to have you on board. Thank you very much. Okay, then that's it, guys. Thanks. We'll catch up with everyone next week.
Next week's good. Yes.
Good. All right.
See you later.
Guys. Bye.